reference what you've received in recent days, not necessarily trying to explain the letter, I think highlighting a line or two from each. No, I think I did. Just in the order you got these things.
All right. We've received a number of public inquiries, and they provide some copies for members. First, on August the 7th, we received a public records request for all of the disclosure statements filed with the Ethics Commission by JobsOhio board members and staff. That was from Chairman of the Democratic Party and House Representative Chris Redfern. As the Commission will recall, that the legislature in 2011, the 129th General Assembly, passed House Bill 1, which created the nonprofit corporation JobsOhio. Included in this bill was an amendment to the statute of the Ethics Commission's authority, 10202B as in Bravo, which specifies that the disclosure statements filed with the Ethics Commission by directors and certain employees of JobsOhio, quote, shall be kept confidential. Revised Code 10207, which has been in effect since 1994, states that no person shall divulge information that appears on a disclosure statement and is required to be kept confidential under that section of the revised code, subject to sanction of a first-degree misdemeanor. I provided, after consultation with the chair, a response on August the 9th to Representative Redfern, identifying that, and also identifying, however, that the Commission does review the forms that are filed with the Ethics Commission for potential conflicts of interest, as we do with all confidential statements. We receive about 2,500 of these every year. They include members of the boards of trustees of public colleges and universities, also uncompensated board members for all state boards and commissions. They also file confidential statements with us. We review those in executive session on a routine basis, and I notified Representative Redfern that when those portions become public with respect to JobsOhio, we'll let them know.
2,500 is the total confidential.
Right.
And the Commission reviews those as is prescribed in executive session, and then publishes or makes public the relevant sections that may indicate some potential for conflict.
Right. Do you want me to reference?
Well, Andrew, you have two. Oh, you were that's right. Yeah, that's a memo we did here was attached, and then you have two more that you.
Then we received yesterday, late afternoon, from Mike Roadhouse, Chief Counsel of the Governor.
But before that, didn't you have two letters from Mr. Fitzgerald? We'll take up an executive session.
Okay. We received two his correspondence on August the 2nd, and also this morning, referencing JobsOhio and request for.
But in effect, aren't those public items because they came not with specific allegations, but rather asking that we look into various things? And am I correct that you talked with his assistant and there was no complaint and no allegation specifically?
It was a request for an investigation, which actually would require, of course, to take up in executive sessions.
I guess the investigation area, I didn't see that as a specific matter unless there is some issue. What I'm making is we will discuss it in executive session, but there was nothing specific other than an article in the Daily News and items related to tax credits.
Right.
So I just want to be clear that we're trying to focus on where our jurisdiction may lie.
Right.
And then you received another letter at the end of the day yesterday.
Late yesterday afternoon from, again, Mike Roadhouse, Chief Counsel of Governor Kasich. And this correspondence is not pursuant under the allegations, so this is actually public correspondence. Identifying concerning Governor Kasich's financial disclosure statement filings for 2011 and 2012 calendar years, and essentially identifying and giving further explanation of what had been disclosed in those statements with respect to payments from Worthington Industries. It describes the history of the circumstance of those payments, that they were incurred for board compensation while he served on the board between the years 2000 and 2010, that they represented payments that had accrued already, and that, in essence, I'll pass this out to the members.
And that actually becomes a matter of public record, it's a public document.
This particular document, as is the public records request that I wrote just before, is a public record, and the summary of it is that the governor, upon being elected, immediately took steps to sever his ties. He resigned his board seat in November of 2010, began selling his Worthington stock. In his disclosure statement filed in April 2011, he reported his brief ownership of Worthington stock, that he received deferred compensation from Worthington in calendar year 2010. Likewise, in his disclosure statements filed in 2012 and 2013, he again reported the deferred compensation he received in 2011 and 2012. These payments were due for service on the board the years before he was elected governor, and amounts were paid were previously set and were not connected to performance of Worthington Industries.
And that is actually why I think it's important that the other two letters contained from Mr. Fitzgerald be considered public documents also, because they're not in the nature of, quote, a normal investigation. They're a fairly blanket presentation, and I think, in fairness, since there is a voluntary letter from the Governor's Council, the two letters from Fitzgerald need to be public also. You got a question?
I would disagree with the chairman, and I think that it's important. I am assuming that we have this many people in the audience because of this very issue. And I think it's important that we explain, first of all, what are our parameters of authority, which are very, very limited, and then to explain that when there is the investigative part, that it has to be confidential. Even if we find nothing, if somebody is writing a letter and filing a complaint or requesting an investigation, I think that it is our duty or responsibility to at least look at it before we disclose it. But I'm positive that the press is aware of the limited parameters of our authority with JobsOhio.
Commissioner Davis.